Sarah was once a rising star in the world of entrepreneurship, owning a chain of boutique cafes across a busy metropolitan area. She had carved out a name for herself with her passion for quality coffee and customer experience. Every morning, she would walk through her cafes, greeting employees and customers alike with a smile that radiated hope and ambition. But beneath the bright lights and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, the tides began to turn. The economy faced a downturn, and Sarah's business felt the weight immediately. Rent prices for her stores skyrocketed, suppliers increased costs, and a new big coffee chain entered the neighborhood, offering lower prices and flashy promotions. Customers started trickling away, and the revenues that once soared steadily began to dwindle. Sarah fought to keep her cafes afloat. She slashed expenses, negotiated with landlords, and launched marketing campaigns to bring back lost customers. Yet, the debts piled up faster than her efforts could cover. Her credit cards maxed out, loans were taken to pay her dedicated staff, and sleepless nights became the norm. The heartbreak came when Sarah realized she could no longer keep the doors open. One by one, the cafes shuttered their windows, and her loyal employees were let go. Bankruptcy was inevitable, and the crushing weight of failure felt unbearable. For a long time, Sarah wrestled with shame and self-doubt. How had someone so driven, so capable, ended up here? Yet, deep inside, she refused to let this be her final chapter. The fire of hope flickered in her heart. Sarah knew that the end of her cafes was just the beginning of her greatest transformation. After the bankruptcy, Sarah found herself at a crossroads. The loss of her business was more than financial, it shook her identity. She felt isolated, unsure of what the future held. But in the silence of that difficult period, Sarah began to seek answers. She enrolled in financial literacy classes, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. Concepts that had once seemed intimidating: budgeting, investing, asset allocation started making sense. Books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Millionaire Next Door, and Atomic Habits became her companions during long nights. Sarah took a hard look at her personal finances. She meticulously tracked every expense, cut unnecessary spending, and set a strict budget. Slowly, she built an emergency fund from scratch, starting with small savings of just $50 a month. Realizing that learning alone wasn't enough, she joined online forums and communities dedicated to entrepreneurship and personal finance. There, she found kindred spirits who shared their stories of setbacks and comebacks. The support and exchange of ideas fueled her resolve. Inspired by her growth and newfound clarity, Sarah launched a blog called From Ashes to Assets. In it, she candidly documented her journey from bankruptcy to rebuilding wealth. Her authenticity resonated with readers, many of whom were also struggling with financial challenges. What began as a personal outlet quickly transformed into a mission. Sarah started a podcast where she interviewed financial experts, entrepreneurs, and everyday people who had overcome adversity. The podcast gained traction, drawing sponsors and partnerships that helped sustain her growing platform. Through this process, Sarah not only rebuilt her financial foundation, but also her self-confidence. She realized that failure was not a dead end but a detour, an essential step on the path to lasting success. With her blog and podcast gaining momentum, Sarah began to see new doors opening. She leveraged her platform to educate others on practical money management and smart investing, sharing lessons learned from her own painful experiences. Sarah started small investments with the savings she had carefully accumulated. She learned about index funds, dividend stocks, and real estate crowdfunding. Instead of chasing get-rich-quick schemes, she focused on steady, consistent growth. As her knowledge deepened, Sarah decided to pivot professionally. She completed a certification as a financial coach and began offering personalized consulting services online. Her approach was compassionate and relatable, grounded in her first-hand journey through financial ruin and recovery. Clients appreciated her honesty and practical advice. She helped single mothers create budgets that worked for their lives, guided young professionals on paying off student loans, and assisted retirees in maximizing their savings. Sarah's reputation blossomed. She was invited to speak at conferences and webinars, sharing her message of resilience and financial empowerment. Each story she told carried the weight of experience and the hope of transformation. Despite these successes, Sarah remained humble and grounded. She maintained a simple lifestyle, prioritizing meaningful relationships and self-care. Her journey had taught her that wealth was not just about money, it was about freedom, security, and peace of mind. She also gave back. Sarah volunteered at local nonprofits, offering free workshops on budgeting and credit repair. She believed that financial education should be accessible to all, especially those who had been underserved by traditional systems. Sarah had learned that true wealth wasn't about digits in a bank account. It was about waking up every morning with purpose. It was the peace of knowing her daughter would never have to grow up watching her mother cry over unpaid bills. It was the freedom to choose how she worked, where she lived, and who she helped. 5 years after hitting rock bottom, Sarah stood on the TEDx stage, looking out at a room packed with eager faces. Her talk, "How I Lost Everything and Found Myself Through Finance," was raw and vulnerable. She spoke about shame, failure, rebuilding, and the power of starting small. That talk went viral, and millions resonated with her message. You are not your past, and you are never too far gone to come back. By now, Sarah had launched a full online platform called Financial Phoenix, dedicated to helping women rise from financial ashes. She offered courses on budgeting, debt repair, emotional spending, and small business startup. But it wasn't just her expertise that drew people, it was her authenticity. She wasn't a guru on a pedestal. She was a survivor, speaking from the trenches. Sarah published a memoir, launched a podcast, and collaborated with schools to bring financial literacy into classrooms. She created scholarships for single mothers and partnered with shelters to offer pro bono coaching. Her blog, once just a desperate journal, had become a community hub, with readers from over 30 countries. Despite her success, she lived simply. No flashy cars, no designer brands. Her biggest luxury was time. Time to walk her daughter to school, to cook dinner slowly, to sit with a client and say, "I see you. I've been you, and you are not alone." One day, she received a letter from a woman in Mexico. "Your story stopped me from ending mine. I was on the edge, and I found your video. Now I'm working 2 jobs, saving money, and I believe again. Thank you." Sarah wept, because she knew that was what it was all for. Not the fame, not the money, but that, giving someone else hope when they'd lost it. She continued to mentor young women who had been where she once was, broke, ashamed, and invisible. She taught them how to budget, yes, but also how to forgive themselves, how to dream again, how to believe that they were worthy of more. And she never forgot her promise to herself that if she ever got out, she'd make sure the road was clearer for the next woman. Sarah wasn't just building a brand. She was building a movement. If Sarah's journey touched your heart, help us spread this message to others who need hope. Like this video if you believe in second chances. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another story of resilience, strength, and financial freedom. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell, because the next story might be exactly what you need to hear. Your support helps us keep telling real stories that change lives. Drop a comment below if Sarah's transformation inspired you. And remember, no matter where you start, you can always rewrite your story.